Pharaoh returns from his hiding place with shocking news that will change the fabric of the Egyptian government. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is the Daily Bible. The Daily Bible is sponsored by Birch. Diversify your savings by investing in precious lumber like palm, acacia, and of course, birch today. Alrighty, so on Monday, we received numerous reports from the mainstream media that Pharaoh was potentially having health issues. During a palace press conference, we were told he simply was fatigued from the pressures of ruling and needed to rest. Well, that turned out to be a lie when we saw not physicians, but astrologers heading to and from the royal residence in Avares, so thank you once again to the most transparent of administrations in Egyptian history. Now, this could potentially be really, really bad. I mean, if Pharaoh is receiving troubling visions from the gods, this could spell trouble for all of us. And you would think that he would go to his astrologers and listen to them, since they actually went to school to interpret dreams. But no, you would be wrong, because instead, he goes to some rando in prison and asks his opinion. But more on that in a second. First, I want to talk to you about a pillow. Do you have trouble sleeping? Does that several-inch gap between your head and your neck cause you to wake up with painful neck cramps? Well, then A-Pillow is for you. This company came up with a brilliant idea to put something soft under your head when you go to sleep. It is absolutely terrific. I have 23 children, so believe me, I need all the sleep I can get. Go get A-Pillow today and be sure to tell them that we sent you. Okay, so Pharaoh is having bad dreams, they're probably coming from the gods, and there is a process to determining the meaning of such things. As you all know, my middle wife is a midwife. She says you need to slaughter a goat, sift through its entrails with a stick going left to right, and then you will find the meaning of a divine revelation. Now, did Pharaoh do this? No, he did not. Instead, he goes to a convicted rapist in prison and appoints him to the most prestigious position in the land, a man by the name of Zaphnath-Paneah, and if you've never heard that name before, well, don't feel too bad, because until today, he had not either. There was a royal proclamation today from the capital where Pharaoh made this pronouncement. Jen Isis over the Daily Bible reports that Pharaoh said, "Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou." And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck, and made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, "Bow the knee," and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. Okay, so a lot to unpack here. You will remember, we covered the story of Joseph a number of years ago. He was a slave in the house of Potiphar, captain of the king's guard. In no time, he was essentially running all of Potiphar's estate. And then, Potiphar's wife said he attempted to rape her, so just charming fellow. After his conviction, he faced a serious demotion by becoming the personal manservant to various high-level prisoners also being held in the house of Potiphar who commit crimes against Pharaoh personally. And now, he's out. Pharaoh was looking for someone to help him with his bad dreams. He trusts the raping Canaanite over his own wise men, and then appoints him second in command over the entire country. This is a bad idea. Already there's talk of consolidating governmental power that is currently spread out over the regions under this Zaphnath-Paneah to gather the nation's food supply in some grandiose Feed the Hungry project or some such nonsense. But more on that in 1 second. Right now, joining us on the line to discuss this is frequent Daily Bible contributor and author of 10 Commandments and Antidote to Chaos, our man on the other side of Jordan, above Petra. Sir, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, Ben.
So I want to ask you, what is your take on Pharaoh's decision, and what do you think the effects will be on Egypt at large?
Well, obviously it was a shock. It goes against many of our various societal norms. Broadly speaking, I think it's self-evidently true that Pharaoh would have done better to get his own dreams in order before trying to implement those dreams on the whole world, so to speak.
Now, do you think this Zaphnath-Paneah character will more or less destroy the Egyptian economy?
Well, it depends on what you mean by that. I think in an archetypal sense that certainly it's the case that someone who's capable of rising through the ranks as a low-level slave to a management position, well, that same person is certainly capable of handling the management of national resources, so to speak. And if that same person is capable of keeping the records, the entirety of the records of a royal incarceration system, then they're absolutely capable of making wise decisions instead of unwise decisions regarding imperial governance.
So do you think this is a good idea?
No.
Well, thank you once again to our man on the other side of Jordan, above Petra. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ben.
All right, gang. If you think the Egyptian people are going to simply roll over and accept this foreign slave ruling over us, then you have another thing coming. All right, this Zaphnath You know what? We're not calling him that, okay? This man is a Canaanite, all right? He's not Egyptian. And just because you slap an Egyptian name on him and marry him to the daughter of one of our priests, and now you're dictating to me that I'm supposed to pretend that Pharaoh is Joseph and Joseph is Pharaoh. No, the answer is no. I'm not going to modify basic Egyptian hierarchy because it threatens Pharaoh's subjective sense of what his dreams mean. All right, and I'm not denying this man's authority. I'm saying he is not the ethnicity to which he has been ascribed. Alright, so we will be back later with 2 full hours of the Daily Bible. For now, be sure to subscribe and click that bell. We are the largest and only podcast in the ancient world.